In today's video we are going to be tackling the bamboo stitch. This is a great stitch for projects where you want a lot of texture but you don't want a really long pattern repeat. So for stuff like washcloths it's great. Pop a garter stitch border on and it's just an instant project without having to make any effort. Bamboo stitch gets its name from the pattern that the stitches create, because if you look you get these vertical columns that look a little bit like bamboo stalks. So without further ado, let's grab our yarn, grab our needles and get knitting. The pattern multiple for bamboo stitch is really nice and easy. It is a multiple of 2, so as long as you cast on an even number of stitches, bamboo stitch will work. Cast on using your preferred cast on method, they will all work. I like to use long tail, but go ahead and use whichever one you prefer. And I'm going to cast on just 24 stitches for this tutorial because I'm just making a little sample. As I mentioned in the intro, bamboo stitch is a lovely short 2-row repeat, so we just have 2 rows to remember for the entirety of our project. And the first row that we work, row 1, is our right side row. Now, unlike a lot of stitch patterns you come across, bamboo stitch doesn't actually start with a knit or purl stitch. The first thing that you need to work is a yarn over, and as a continental knitter the way I do that is just to pick up the yarn, pop it on my right hand needle and hold it tight with my thumb. Then you want to knit the next 2 stitches. And you should have 3 loops on this right hand needle. You should have your yarn over and then the 2 stitches that you've knitted. Then you want to pop your left hand needle and pick up that yarn over. And then you want to lift it over the 2 knitted stitches in the same way that you would when you are casting off. And you'll see that we've gone from 3 stitches to 2 stitches with this sideways loop underneath our needles. Then you want to yarn over again and knit the next 2 stitches. Pick up the 3rd loop along on your needles, which will be your yarn over, and lift it over the 2 stitches that you've just knitted. And it's that process that you repeat all the way along your row. So you want to yarn over and knit 2. Then pick up the yarn over, which should be the 3rd loop in on your right hand needle, and lift it over the 2 stitches that you've knitted. It can take a little bit of getting used to, but within a few minutes you should find that it becomes fairly intuitive. So once again, yarn over, knit 2, and then lift the yarn over and pass it over the 2 knitted stitches and off that right hand needle. Yarn over, knit 2, and pass that yarn over the 2 stitches you've knitted, and you want to repeat that all the way until you get to the end of the row. At the end of row 1 your work should look a little bit like this. Your yarn overs lifted over the 2 stitches should have already split your stitches into these very clear groups of 2, and you should have had exactly the right amount of stitches to end with knit 2 and then lifting that yarn over the knit 2. Row 2 is really nice and easy. You just want to go ahead and purl every single stitch. There are no yarn overs, nothing really to worry about because every stitch is a purl stitch. So row 2 of the repeat is really nice and easy after all that work you did lifting those yarn overs. After row 2, when you've turned your work, it should look a little bit like this, and because we have such a nice short row repeat, I will recap those 2 rows for you just one more time so that we can get them firmly ingrained in your mind. So for row 1, you want to lift up a loop to create a yarn over and then knit 2 stitches. And if you have lifted your yarn over at the beginning of your row correctly, you should find that you have 3 loops on your needles even though you've only knitted 2. Pop your left hand needle into your yarn over from left to right, lift it up and lift it over the 2 stitches you've knitted and off that right hand needle. Then yarn over again and knit the next 2 stitches. Grab that yarn over with your left hand needle and lift it over the 2 stitches you've knitted and off your needles. Yarn over and knit 2, grab the yarn over and lift it over those 2 stitches all the way to the end of the row. Row 2 You want to purl every single stitch all the way along. This yarn isn't the best for showing off texture, but you can see that after only 4 rows of knitting that we already have these little bamboo-like columns starting to form. So you just want to work these 2 rows over and over again until your project is the size that you want it to be. And when you are ready to cast off, you would cast off purl-wise on a wrong side row. So that's a row 2. So work all your rows until you're ready and then cast off purl-wise on a row 2 and you will get a nice finished piece of work. And that's how you knit bamboo stitch, a really fun and quirky stitch pattern with just a 2-row repeat. So it's great for practicing your knitting skills and upping your skill level just that little bit more. If you found this video useful, I would absolutely love it if you would give it a thumbs up. And if you're not quite ready to go away and start knitting yet, then I've linked another video here that I think you might also enjoy. Bye!